It's just a place to store a medical herb. I'm hungry. That guy had a lot to say. Maybe this is his house. It doesn't have a bed. It's just empty. It appears to have no purpose. There's a field. It's cool, I guess. We're kind of here, inside the castle. Oh, this guy. Hello. That does remind me. I think I have some people who are... Well, I had some people who were poisoned before. Maybe it wears off eventually? Because they were poisoned for like 3 battles and I kept forgetting to cure them. Maybe finishing the next like plot mission did it? I don't know. Don't ask me. What's this person have to say? Do you know Gesh? I do not. He sometimes comes here. He seems so friendly. Are all devils like him? If so, I like them. Oh, he's a devil. I guess we'll meet him at some point. Ah, I was trying to click that vase and I accidentally clicked you instead. The cheerful bread. Very good. I think that increases stats. Maybe HP? Not sure. I feel like I just always save the stat boosting items till the end, even though, like, arguably they'd be more useful at the beginning when the increase is a bigger proportion of your total stats, but it's just my lifestyle, I guess. Do you think Pacalon can beat the devils? Say yes! Pacalon is the best fighters in the world! Well, Higgins did not seem to do so well against them, but I'm pretty sure we can beat the devils, so that'll be fine. The well, a sturdy well, no water there. Is there a drought in Pacalon? It is looking pretty dry and dusty. The color scheme is very kind of desaturated. Lots of trees that are like withered. Maybe the devils caused the drought? I guess we'll find out when we go in the castle. There are 2 important items for us. Well, actually there's one important item. There are 2 important items. Yeah, no, that's right. One is a mithril. Let's say hi to this person. Are you from South Promesha? Oh, great! Well, at least we brightened that guy's day. Devils are coming to town? Okay, I'll beat them up. Buddy? Oh, I can't. I'm too hungry. Oh, maybe like there's a drought, their crops failed, so everyone's starving to death, I guess. I'm gonna guess is the issue here. I don't think this is the treasury. This looks like an armory. I'm just checking my guide to find items. Let's see. The mithril is in the top left room of the castle, and the other one's in the throne room. Okay, so it's not this room. Let's go downstairs. This is what, the prison maybe? Or just a storage room? Aw, well maybe we'll get in there later. There's probably some treasure that like the king will give us or whatever. Oh friend, brave Pacalons? None at all. There are no soldiers who can fight against the devils. Jeez, man. Harsh. Higgins, it seemed he at least tried. You know, he didn't succeed, but successfulness and courageousness are distinct things. It's been dry here since the devils appeared. They must have done something to Goddess Metula. Oh, right, because Metula is the water goddess. So if the devils, like, messed with her, you know, maybe there won't be any rain. So Pacalon's in big trouble. Yeah, they're kind of out in the middle of the desert. Okie dokie. This castle is very large and it has very little in it. Oh, I think... here somewhere, the blue carpet in the throne room. The bottom of the throne room, walk down it on the right and search the wall using A. Maybe here? There we go. There we go. Excellent. Let's see if we can get to the treasury at all. They came from Nazca, which is west of Moon. Or Moan, not sure. Maun. We locked the gate of Maun to stop their progress. Victor Freya has the key to open the gate. Vicar Freya, rather. So we will get a vicar in the end. This is a different one. What happened to the soldiers who went to Metula's shrine? Were they all killed? I'm guessing we'll find out, because we're probably going to go there eventually. Dark inside. Empty. Sure, a lot of empty things here. Maybe we can't get into the treasury until we're, like, allowed in or something. Oh, fairy powder, that's nice. Fairy powder, I think, like, just cures status, so it's not terribly useful, but whatever. I saw it. The princess ate food in the kitchen one night. I didn't wish to see such an uncouth princess. Jeez. If that's the biggest problem in your life, then you're doing pretty well, buddy. Like, the other characters in this area are like, oh, we're maybe with the treasure has to be unlocked for us or something. You know, they're telling us like that they're dying. Basically, they're starving to death. They can't defeat the devils. This person has no problems, basically. I see. This we have to go through a wall. When you go in the top left room of the castle, next to the wall, you'll be able to see some stairs and a group of 3 stones. Yes, I see it. Just walk along through the wall opposite the stones. Okay, perfect. Oh, this is how we get into this room. Nice. And here's the mithril. I wish an option to put things straight into the depot. Okay, can we go through the other side of the store? No, actually we can't even get close to it. It's not they didn't design it to function at all. No one will be the wiser. Although this is one of those cases where, because this is a top-down, it's like an isometric perspective, right? So we can't really see the side of the wall here, what the character is looking at. It's possible that from the character's perspective it was just a very obvious opening and there was nothing impressive about that. Hidden doors in video games always raise those questions. I think that's everything fine, so let's go hang out in here. We don't have enough food because of the long drought. Just one rainfall would make us happy. You need more than one to grow crops, buddy. This is quite a sprite. I committed a sin. I abandoned the people of Moan to protect the Parmesha continent. Well, it was to protect the continent. Is that a sin? Devils came to Pacalon through Moon. Moun? We blocked the invaders by locking the gate of Moun. That means we abandoned the people living there. This was a moral dilemma for them. This must be the princess. You'll see a route through the mountains when you go north from here. You can get to Tristan by traveling along that route. That's nice. Welcome. There's already one of you in the town. It's not that long of a walk. No. I don't know why the... Sometimes you can just press A, so I don't know why they also had the search function. Maybe just because it was in the previous game. A book, Pacalon Kings. Paladin Honor. The books in the previous game had much funnier titles. I do miss that. They were a little more goofy. These are just very straightforward and just kind of plain. It's like, yeah, I guess there would be a book about that here. Cool. It's not as exciting. Higgins asked you to drop by here. Thank you. Wow, this guy doesn't even... I guess a throne for a centaur, you know, maybe that wouldn't be... Horses don't, like, sit on chairs or anything, really. He's very casual. May I ask you a favor? Please save Matula. She's in Tristan. This guy, this is a great thing. He's like, can I have a favor? Can you save the goddess? It's like, wow, this is a very casual... I feel like calling it a favor seems too little. We will be ruined by the drought long before the devils destroy us. It's like siege warfare, right? Okay, so that's everything for this town, I believe. Oh, actually, no, there is one more thing. I believe we'll have to go out to the depot, though, which... that's really annoying. But, unless... Can I access the items to people who are not in the party? I cannot. So we gotta go out to the depot, because I think you have to be holding the potion item in order to promote with it. So we want to give the Pegasus wing to Chester and promote him. Item, I guess? Give? I think someone's just holding it. Who ended up with it? That's not it. Jaha has it. We're gonna give it to Chester instead of the cheerful bread, I guess. Excellent. And actually, let's have him also join the party. Instead of fucking Rick. Fuck that guy. I don't like him that much. He's a relief. Jaha is slightly more useful now that he's promoted, and there's a Jaha in Shining Force Sword as well, so I have a little fondness for him. Either that or we'll take out Elric because he's just so slow. Yeah, let's take out Elric. I feel like he just takes forever to get there. At least Rick is somewhat useful, you know. He can... Maybe now that he's promoted, he'll prove himself, you know. Maybe the first couple levels that we had him were, you know, he wasn't at his best yet. But yeah, I don't know if Jaha is supposed to be the same Jaha in that game. Like, this is like he had this whole adventure and then, you know, he like returned home and then has this whole separate adventure, or whether the writers of the Shining Force games just really liked the name Jaha for some reason. I'm not sure. This isn't the building I wanted. Yes, let's spend some time watching me be lost in town. It's just like real life. Okay, it's time to promote our new friend. Well, our old friend, but he'll be a new class now. Chester. I also want to point out, all of them say this, that so-and-so wants to be promoted to a fighting class. I assume that they were, I assume that this is just a wonky translation, where they were either going to put, they want to be promoted to the fighting class or to a fighting class, and accidentally put both. It's also a little weird to say they want to be promoted to a fighting class, right? Because I don't, at first I thought this was asking you which class you wanted, but I don't know that it actually is. I think this is just an awkward translation of the Japanese line said. I don't know, maybe it was something like, oh, you want to be promoted to be a stronger fighter or something, and they awkwardly put it as, you want to be a fighting class, right? As opposed to what? A Pegasus Knight, yeah! The light blesses Knight Chester with a class of Pegasus Knight. Chester was successfully promoted to Pegasus Knight. And let's save the game. You know, even though we have the save states, it's still good to save. And this also means that if we egress, we'll return here. Instead of way back in, like, Elf Town, because that's the last save location. Oh, shit, I pressed no by accident. I keep doing that because they ask you, do you want to keep playing? And sometimes I'm pressing B so that because I keep doing it by habit, because in most games, what they're actually asking you is, do you want anything else? And you press B to leave the conversation. So I have done this many times. Luckily, we just saved the game. Frequently, I have done this. But yeah, it's funny. In the guide that I'm using, they say that one of the disadvantages of Pegasus Knights is you don't get the item until really late. But we literally only promoted everyone else the battle before this. So I guess if you're grinding all the way to level 40 and you don't grind as soon as you access Fairy Void because it sucks, it actually isn't particularly late. It's right on time. Sarah's promotion will be really late because I don't think we're going to get that item for a long time. But on the other hand, yes, this is the battle as we're going north. Where did you come from? What are you doing here? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Cotton Eye Joe. You don't know about the restrictions? Lizard men are already a regular enemy. They were the boss last time. Even if you didn't know, that's just too bad. This is an old game, remember, so the script is not up to, modern standards. The English translation has plenty of typos, because at the time, I guess there just wasn't as big of a market for, porting games to other languages, so they didn't put as much resources into it. Okay, but yeah, I feel like it's kind of not as bad, just because, let's use Blast 4 to show it off how much damage it does. I may one-shot this guy. Oh, almost. But, as a healer, she's still useless regardless, because oh, look at Chester, he's so cute. But, she wasn't, she has Blast. She has Blast 4, so she can actually do just as much damage with magic, because magic is not dependent on your own stats. Whoops. Oh, I think I forgot to equip her item. I gave it to her, but I didn't technically equip it. Let's make sure that he is properly equipped. Let's check out Chester's new sprite. Oh, it's pretty cool. Very snazzy. See, this is promotion in this game. For some characters, it's basically like you've literally been promoted, like in the army, you're a new rank now, and you get to use like a new weapon and new armor. But then for other characters, it's more like Pokemon evolution, where it's like, now you're going to grow wings or like turn into a wolf. For some characters, this is a very extreme experience. I'm picturing them all standing around getting promoted by the priest guy or whatever, and some of them are being handed like, here's your new suit of armor, and then someone else is like, now you're going to grow new limbs from your body. It must be somewhat weird experience for the Shining Force. I kind of wish that I, had the capacity to draw, like, comics or whatever, because I would love to make, like, a fan comic about that, about how bizarre and absurd that would be. And then for some of them, they just apparently go through, like, super accelerated puberty, which is also amazing. But yeah, so since Sarah wasn't a melee fighter in the first place and is not dependent on a weapon particularly, and the amount of utility she has is not really changed by promotion, she'll obviously have more, she can get more MP by being promoted and, have more defense and like maybe more move. I don't know if I can't remember whether that class has more move, but I think it does. but her healing will be the same amount because that's determined by spell, and her damage from blast will also be the same because that is not determined by her class or level, only her spells. So for a delayed promotion, if it's the healer, that's not as bad because the healer is not as dependent on the promotion. Whereas for all the other characters, like you saw in that battle, not being able to use the upgraded weapons and not having the better stats, really, even that last battle going to Pacalon, that was painful before we promoted everybody. And I didn't grind them to super high levels or anything. A couple of them leveled up because we had to keep weakening the mist demons so that the others had a chance of killing it. But yeah, their stats are just so much higher that we can actually do damage to these enemies. Whereas before, you know, we needed like 5 or 6 attacks to kill one enemy that was almost one-shotting us. So for all of our melee fighters, it's a bigger deal. Oh man, I think after this battle we have to go back. I missed... Apparently there's another piece of mithril on the way here, because we have to go past a part of the mountains that points up. Search the peak of this to find a piece of mithril. I don't know if that's here or previously, but once we finish the battle, we'll work on that. Gotta get all the mithrils. Okay, and now let's actually equip her weapon, because I forgot... How the fuck did I forget to give her a weapon? Okay, well, hang out here until the next battle, Janet. Somehow. I have to check if I accidentally put it in the caravan or gave it to someone else, or did I just straight up somehow not buy her a weapon at all? That would be... I'm good at this game, you guys. It's truly incredible how skilled I am. Okay, Rick has the power ring right now because we were training him previously, so he is doing a fair chunk of damage thanks to his boost from the power ring. I'll have to think about who should get the power ring ultimately. Just being able to fly, he doesn't get any bonus from... He doesn't get a defensive bonus from the terrain, because those percentages they're showing in the corner are actually not a movement penalty, they are a defense bonus. The movement penalty appears to just... It also exists, but it's not displayed anywhere on the screen. The land effect. So the flying characters do not benefit from land effect. Which makes sense, right? It's like they're flying over the land, they're not hiding among the trees or whatever, benefiting, you know, being harder to hit. But on the plus side, they can pass over any land. I think there's actually a distinction between the flying and the hovering characters. The hovering characters, there are certain things they can't pass over that the flying characters can. I think the hovering characters are not as high up or whatever. None of this is said anywhere in the game, by the way. You can learn this stuff if you look up guides, or I guess intuit it by looking at the game. I don't know if you'd bother. I feel like it's not that difficult of a game that you need to know all this. But yeah, I feel like Shinyverse is kind of interesting because I feel like it actually has a fair amount of mechanical complexity under the hood, but it's not mechanical like you as the player are using, so it's not like, oh, there's a very complex system to build your character or something like that. There's just a lot of weird little details that you don't really even know about. The game doesn't really tell you about them, and you don't have control over them. They're just there. So it's interesting that they designed this very complex system that largely exists outside of the player's awareness, even though it does affect what happens in the game. It's interesting, just as a way to design a game. But yeah, there apparently are actually meaningful distinctions between like who's flying and who's hovering and stuff like that, which isn't listed anywhere in like the character profiles or anything, but does affect who can move over what. But I think having an extra flying character is basically just really great because there are plenty of maps where there's mountains or there's water features, which, you know, the melee characters can't go across, and can also create bottlenecks if everyone has to walk through a very narrow area. And the flying characters can avoid that, so that just makes it easier for everyone. And the mounted characters especially, all them, they are really slowed down by certain types. You can see here with Rick going very slow through the mountains. So it's nice that the flying characters do not have to deal with that. Oh man, my allergies are really bad today, I'm so stuffy. Autumn has arrived, basically. I can feel it in my sinuses. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, this one has kind of a cool little axe thing there. Nice sprite work. Wyvern, we haven't fought them before. They are new for this battle. Wow, that is a weird looking wyvern. It's very bizarre. This... I do like the battle maps in this game, the outdoor maps, you know, that are... They're really large. I like the sprite work, you know, they're kind of colorful and sort of like a fun, you know, designs. But the fact they're really large does mean that it takes a lot of time to do each one, in spite of the fact that there's not that many enemies on them. It just takes a while to get to them all. It's just, they're very time consuming. Which again, this genre of game is maybe not that suited to being Let's Play, but I really like Shining Force. Yeah, maybe the wizard has some magic resistance, you know. Another thing that the game does not say anything about anywhere, but you can tell that some enemies clearly take less damage from the magic spells, which normally have fixed damage. I know there's some elemental aspects where, like, enemies, I think, low-key... Oh, she can at least punch people, I guess, even if she doesn't have a weapon. That's something. You know, something to do. But, some enemies are more or less damaged by, like, the element spells, and none of that is listed anywhere. Sometimes you can tell by their color scheme, like, the blue enemies are the ice type, basically, but, oh, let's show off his magic just a little bit. This is Pacalon. It's the fire spell. Use some ninja magic. He just used this as attack animation. They couldn't be bothered to make a separate casting animation. It's fine. So that one is basically, it looks like it's about as strong as Blaze 3. It's cheaper too, but on the flip side of that, I don't think the ninja spells have different levels, and he has a lot less MP overall. So it's just not, it's sort of just a fun little extra. Oh right, that guy was the boss. Well, at least we finished this battle, I guess. Okay, now let's look for where the mountains point up. Supposedly there is such a place, and also we need to give poor Janet, a weapon. Because I somehow forgot. Did I end up giving 2 copies of... Or did I just straight up forget? No, I just straight up forgot. Okay, we're going back to Pacalon, everyone. Luckily we finished that battle a bit early, because I forgot that guy... I knew one of the lizardmen was the boss, but I did not actually remember that it was that one. I was not paying that much attention. It's fine though, we're already doing fine on levels. That's, once again I held the button down too much. Okay, a great shot for Janet. Great shot for Janet sounds like some sort of weird children's book, you know. Great shot for Janet. Okay. And now we can search for the part of the mountains that points up, which is the only clue I have as to where the mithril is. There's not an image in the guide. Oh, there's in here somewhere. There aren't that many mountains in the previous screen. Points up. I wish I knew whether it meant these like gray and black mountains you can't pass through sprites, or the brown like battle map mountain sprites. Let me review again. On your way, you'll go past a part of the mountains that points up. Search the peak of this to find a piece of mithril. What does that mean? What does it mean that it points up? Why isn't there a single button for search instead of having to pick it up from a menu? Is there anything here that doesn't look like it? I might have to do some separate Googling to find this one. This is non-obvious. And I do want to find every single piece of mithril. I mean, I am using a guide, so I'm like, you know, let's at least show off everything that's in the game to find. I don't know that I'd say this point, but it is going up, I guess? Is this... I feel like I'm just searching random things. Oh, maybe it's this? This is sort of pointing up, I guess. Ah, there we go. There we go. We got the mithril. Excellent. Okay, so we did Battle 27, Pangoat Valley. So now we're going to Pangoat Valley, apparently. But I actually think I see a town over here. Maybe this is the valley? It's kind of like a valley. Oh, this must be the mound gate they were talking about. They said they sealed the gate to stop the devils from getting through, but as a result, everyone is trapped there. Okay, so we can't go there yet, but we'll probably end up there eventually, I'm guessing. Man, I wonder... My guide does not mention anything to find at this lake, but doesn't it seem like there should be something hidden here? Like... It super feels like there should. Because it just seems like such a perfect spot to hide some sort of... like a bonus town or something that's like hidden, but there's not apparently. Oh, I'm sad that there isn't. It seems like such a good little hiding spot for something cool. That's something about this game overall. I bet we're gonna get a boat later. Because our caravan can only go on dried up riverbeds. That is one thing about this game, is that these outdoor areas are pretty massive, and they look nice. I don't like the color scheme quite as much in the previous game. It's a little brighter, and I kind of like the older green, but they're massive, and there feels like there's not enough in them given how large they are. Anyway, wow, look at that! Oh man, giant worms are eating the bridge. Those monsters are eating the bridge! That's not a problem for Peter, because he can fly. Help me. Ben looks very concerned. Okay, that was legitimately funny. Look! She's stranded on the bridge. Get away from the bridge before it falls into the river! The monsters don't seem to care about her. I sprained my ankle, please help me. Just crawl to the side, do something. I can't stand up. Like, dude, just try to get the fuck out of there however you can. Then defeat all the monsters, hurry. The wizard is never late. I wish I could do a legitimate Gandalf voice. Oh right, we should like look at the map or whatever. I cannot, I'm not a voice person. So basically it's just a bridge we can go across. Yeah. I mean, it is, it's nice that there's some, I do like this, this, parallax background here. It looks legitimately cool. Very neat. It is sort of funny that because of how the sprites work, the monster has a shadow even when it is flying in the air, but, it's an old system limitations. But this is a very cool graphical effect in my opinion, especially when you consider this is quite an old game. So it looks like basically, yeah, we just... I have some of these lesser devils who are not very strong. Some more of these wyverns who are new. They can probably give you a status effect like the bats and stuff could in the other game. And a lot of these weird worm things. Oh, and a wizard who has arrived. So they have Blaze 3 and that's it. We've got some of these master monks who have Heal 4 and a Dispel. So the name is a little deceiving. Dispel is actually silence. It silences your wizards. It doesn't dispel an existing magical effect. It dispels your magic altogether. We're just about a half an hour, so maybe I'll actually cut it off here and we can do the battle in the next one. Since it took ages to find that mithril. Okay, so we talked to the King of Pacalon and his town is stricken by drought because the devils did something to Metula, and in order to save the town and make sure everyone in Pacalon doesn't starve to death because the harvest failed because of the drought, we have to go north to the Shrine of Metula. We can't go through the mountain gate because the people of Pacalon had to seal it off to block off the devils, which they feel very guilty about, so we are instead gonna find a path through the mountains. And we're going to Tristan, and I don't remember why, because I think that's something that happened last year. And then the year in between, I'm sure the game will review it once we get there. But in any case, we have to get across this bridge where some mysterious civilian is being attacked by monsters. So we gotta help her out, because apparently her sprained ankle is so severe she can't take any steps to flee from this rapidly collapsing bridge. So, this is why the world needs heroes like us, I guess, because the civilians are not very useful. But so next time we will rescue this random person and cross this bridge. That'll be very exciting. So this has been Shining Force 2.